This front wing has an aspect ratio of 17.2. Today we are going to talk about it. Let's go. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we are going to talk about this new front wing from a new brand that we have not covered on the YouTube channel yet, Alpine Foil. This is the RSX 730 Ultra. It's a 17.2 aspect ratio and it's made by Alpine Foil. Alpine Foil is a brand from France that makes their foils in-house. So when you get this foil, it definitely feels like it's a specialty craft foil. The quality is amazing, the finish is absolutely mind-blowing. I tested it and I think it's really going to be an interesting discussion on how far can we go with aspect ratio. They have been making foils for a long time, so they have the knowledge of how to make foils, but they came up with this really high aspect ratio front wing, which is to my knowledge today the highest aspect ratio front wing that we have available on the market. So I think this is a trend we are gonna start to see more, and there's a very interesting principle or riding characteristic that comes with an aspect ratio this extreme, and it might be not what you think, so we are going to talk about it. First, the first impression that I got when I got on this foil was that it is actually very easy to ride. When you look at it, it looks extreme and you are probably wondering, am I going to be able to even ride it? I found it very easy to ride. I found that it had a really good low end, for 730 square centimeters, that kind of blew me away. This is actually a foil that personally I prefer to use in either light wind conditions for winging or small downwind conditions. This is to me where this foil excels. Now the interesting part is it still has a really good top end. Why? Because it has a pretty thin profile and it is a small size. So now you have a combination that's very interesting because it is going to perform really well on the low end, it is going to perform pretty well on the top end. Now, of course, it is a 17.2 aspect ratio, so it's not a carving machine. That's not what it's made for. You don't really get this foil for riding wave carving side to side, but I would say it really surprised me on how easy it was to turn. I mean, first, the tips are pretty thin, small curve and actually thin profile. So they don't generate a lot of lift, which ultimately allows you to roll side to side. Now, the faster you go, the more locked in you're gonna have that feeling. The slower you go, it's gonna roll side to side really easily. So I would say in terms of turning, it definitely puts no restriction on jibing or tacking or maneuvers of this style. Now, of course, riding waves, when it gets in a steeper part, this is probably not going to be ideal. One, because it's going to stick out pretty far, and then two, as you get more power, it's going to have a bit of that more locked-in feeling. But for 17.2 aspect ratio, this turns surprisingly well because of its size and because of the characteristics of the tips. Now, when you go and you push the aspect ratio this far, you really need to make sure you have a solid system, a really good connection, a stiff mast, and Alpine Foil again kind of blew me away on that aspect because I found that the mast and the titanium fuselage has been rock solid. From actually behind me, it's on a really big front wing for pumping. Same that I use with this smaller front wing, and it's been so stiff, so direct, yet really smooth. I think the titanium fuselage really gives it that smooth riding, even through chop and everything. It kind of a bit of absorb any type of small vibration or anything that you could feel from the water, from the chop. So really smooth feeling. And now, to me, what I would love to see is you know, could we have a smaller front wing? Because like I said, at 730 square centimeters, this to me is more of a light wing machine. And so, you know, it probably has like the low end of, you know, over 1,000, you know, square centimeter foil, in my opinion. So could we push the size and go to a 500 or 600 with that kind of aspect ratio? If we go to a smaller size, could we actually push the aspect ratio even more? I think there's some really interesting things that could be done, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But the 730 RSX from Alpine Foil, to me, if you are looking for something that's gonna have an insane glide, that's gonna have a really good range of speed, you know, this is a great option. And depending on your weight and your skill level, this could be a perfect light wing machine. To me, if you are gonna go cruise around on adventures, you're gonna go for a long time and the wind might be up and down, this is gonna get you through it. Now, because of the titanium fuselage and the fact that, you know, this is really like a specialty craft foil that's made in low quantities, and it takes time to make them, the price is a bit higher. I will put the link right here if you want to check it out. But, you know, if you are wanting to treat yourself with a really nice setup, this is going to be amazing. I'm sure you're going to love it. They also have a really wide range of products, so you know, this is not like, you know, that's the only foil you would love from Alpine Foil. I've tested quite a few and I will talk about it in more videos, but so far, you know, from pump foiling, from fast foils for winging, they have been, you know, really incredible to ride. If you had a chance to get your hands on one, I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback, so drop it in a comment. Again, the goal is always to get out there, have the most fun time possible, and I think this has some serious potential for giving you some good time. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.